All he had to do was make two freaking kicks. That's all he had to do. Two kicks. That's two kicks. That's all he has to do. Make two kicks, and we beat Philly. Just two kicks. Like, what are we talking about, man? Let's roll clip. Let's go.
To run today for you that you may have passed up?
Yeah, my mama just told me that. She just cussed me out. So like I'm mad. So like we gonna get after it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna get after it. I can't wait till this ball get on. Like we got the Giants coming up. I'm ready to go. Like I'm just ready to go, man.
So what did she cuss you out about?
She said it was lanes I should have took and ran, but I was just trying to let guys develop routes. We had developing routes. And I was just trying to go through my progression. But yeah, she right. I'm gonna do my like. I ain't
Lamar,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this. I'm just mad because I feel like we should win these games and we not getting them done.
Hey, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and today we're going to start off with, as you heard my rant at the beginning, Baltimore. So, Baltimore Ravens. So, as I bring their numbers up, I'm going to rant a little bit as I find their numbers. I just don't understand, man. Sometimes I just don't understand how they're even in this predicament. I just don't get it. So, Lamar Jackson, 23 for 36, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 19 carries, 82 yards. So, like I said at the beginning, you miss 2 kicks and a PAT, and you lose by 7. Or I think it was 21-19 or something like that. You lose essentially by a possession, right? It's time for us to be real about Tuck. As my heat finally goes off. It's time to be real about Tuck. We need to look for another kicker. And I'm saying we because I'm a Baltimore guy. We need to look for another kicker and stop running our offense as if we got 3 in the tuck. No pun intended. We do not have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. And Harbaugh keeps running this offense as if that 3 is automatic now. We don't have that 3 no more to where we can be like, well, we can kind of play conservative because, we got Justin Tuck back there who's going to make everything cover up for us. That's not a thing anymore. Tuck has lost 2 games for us. I love Justin Tuck. He's made huge kicks for Ray Lewis. He made big kicks for Lamar. But it's time, in the words of my man Nick on Facebook, it's time to take Tuck out back. It's time to put Tuck down. Like, if he can regenerate his career somewhere else, well, I'll be it. But we're looking at the demise of an all-time great. And some people are akin it to LeBron, right? LeBron, he's not playing really well right now after having like 5 straight triple-doubles. It happens. You age. And you can blame whatever you want to blame. The holder, retired, the coach, whatever you want to blame. But it doesn't matter the fact we're probably a game and a half to 2 games behind Pittsburgh now. We play Pittsburgh in a few weeks. But actually, it might be next week. None of that matters. None of that matters. They lost, and we all know Lamar's going to get backlash from it, so let's talk about that part of it. Like I said, he was 23 for 36, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Could have had over 3, but Aguilar decided that he was going to turn back into Nelson Aguilar today. Zay Flowers had a decent game. Don't have his numbers here, but he made some big plays for us not down the stretch. He made some big plays for us throughout the game. Did not know, and his name is escaping me right now. Rashard Bateman. I think those Aguilar catches should have been Bateman. They were Bateman concepts. Those were Bateman concepts that I think if Rashard Bateman is in there, he catches those. And so Lamar can't catch the ball for you. He can't catch the ball for you. One of those was 3rd down. You get that 3rd down, and you're at the 5, and you possibly score there. Another one, holding call. Just Baltimore. Nobody has beat Baltimore this year. Nobody has beat Baltimore this year. Even Kansas City. Nobody has beat Baltimore this year. Baltimore is 8-5 against herself. Because if they put it together, they're unstoppable. But when they can't put it together, then they look at Lamar like, oh, I'll be Superman. The defense played really well for a stretch there. But if the offense is missing kicks and all that, and I had a discussion with a friend. He was talking about leadership and all that, right? Lamar's been this same leader when he won 2 MVPs and when he was won his Heisman and led the league in passing touchdowns and led the league in yards. He's been this same way, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Lamar needs to change who he is. No, he cursed in a press conference for the first time a few weeks ago. So to be like Lamar needs to change who he is, he gonna start yelling at folks, and people gonna be like, oh my God, is Lamar being this? So we know how this goes. We know what they're gonna say tomorrow. They're gonna be like, Lamar this, Lamar that. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. But nobody else would get that benefit of the doubt. Everybody else get the benefit of the doubt but Lamar Jackson. But I digress. So shout out to the Eagles. The Eagles are rolling right now. Jalen Hurts was 11 for 19, 118 yards and a touchdown. Didn't do much, and he's really not having to do much in his winning streak. Hit the guys when they're open, and his guys are making the kick. His guys are making the kicks and making the touchdowns and catching the balls that they need to make. And get the ball to Saquon, who's probably going to be the MVP. Get the ball to Saquon and get out the way. And that's pretty much what Jalen is doing. And Jalen's job is pretty easy right now, and I'm happy for him. So they steamrolling right now. I think they're going into a bye, and then they still play Pittsburgh, and I think they play Kansas City. No, I don't think they play Kansas City. I think they just play Pittsburgh. But even still, that Pittsburgh game is going to be huge. But shout out to the Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles. I don't know if it's my pick, but other than the Lions, that's the team I want to come out the NFC. So, speaking of the Steelers and all of that guys and all that, blah, blah, blah. Bengals and Steelers. So, this was going to be like the cover photo for the game. So, I might just break this clip out and use it as a regular clip. This was going to be the breakout thing. I was going to use it in the thumbnail. I was going to use it in everything. If you're listening to me on radio, I do YouTube as well. YouTube/Black Quarterback Series. Come check me out if y'all want to see the visuals on the thing that you're hearing on the radio. So we'll talk more about my radio listeners later. So Russell Wilson, he thought it was 2012. 29 for 38, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception. This game was a dogfight in another way that you would think that you never would have thought. It was a shootout. It was a shootout up until a few turnovers, a fumble that was turned into 6, and after that, it was never close. The Steelers was rolling. The final score was 44-38, but you never really thought they had a chance after that. And so the point remains, can the Steelers really do it? How were they able to rejuvenate Russell Wilson to play ball like he's playing? Because this is the Russell Wilson that Walmart paid all those billions of dollars for, or millions of dollars for. If you know, you know. That this is the Russell Wilson they thought they was going to get. So, but shout out to Russell Wilson. He's playing absolutely phenomenal. Justin Fields is getting in there. He's running a few plays a game. Justin Fields might have to sit on the sideline a little bit longer in his career than we thought he would. I expect both of them to be there next year, and I'm just so happy to see what's going on in Pittsburgh. I just wish that Baltimore was not beating himself and they'd be right up there with the Kansas Cities and the Pittsburghs of the world. So, but another guy that I'm happy to see play well is Anthony Richardson. 12 for 24, 109 yards, terrible interceptions, 109 yards and a rushing touchdown. He played well. 2 touchdowns as well, I'm sorry. So he played well, but like I've been saying, when it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, you're like, ugh. So, but he's playing well. Well, it looks like I think their coach's name is Shane Steichen. It looks like the head coach of Indianapolis has simplified the playbook and made it a little easier for him to read. And he looks like he has more 1-read, 2-read things. And if it's not that, just go. It seems like they're not having him go through progressions very much now, and that's good for him because essentially this is his rookie year. Because he lost his rookie year to injuries last year. So we talked about him, how he doesn't have a lot of football character and blah, blah, blah. We talked about all that when he subbed himself out because he was tired. But we got to move on from that. He's a young kid. He's figuring it out. And he's had a good month. 2 game-winning drives. Now they did run the air at the ball, 25 carries for 95 yards from Jonathan Taylor. But that's just the way you got to do a young quarterback who's learning how to play the position. Anthony Richardson doesn't have a lot of experience like that. Like I remember seeing him at Florida, and I was like, oh, that's not an NFL guy. But he doesn't have a lot. He's still developing and learning how to play the position. So I think he'll be fine though. I posted on my social medias Drake May and AR be around for a long time. Because Drake May was the truth. He threw some passes in there that I'm like, whoa, I haven't seen those in New England in a while since Cam was there. So shout out to Drake May. I didn't get a chance to talk about him in the draft. The draft I had so much going on then. I kind of crammed everything. My draft coverage would be a lot better this year considering who's all coming out this year. So, but yeah, so I turned them winning and Houston not looking very good against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And number zero for Houston. I didn't want to mess his name up, so I made sure I had his number. That number 0 deserved everything that the league is going to give him and everything that the ejection that he got. Because that hit was Bush League. Trevor Lawrence was giving up himself, and you went out of your way. I'm not going to say went out of your way. I'm not going to gas it. But you went out of your like football way to harm that man. He gave himself up, and now I'm asking a lot of an elite athlete to stop his motion. But you have to do that. If you're going to do that, like everybody else do. Most times when quarterbacks slide, most times the player jumps over him, right? You got to do that. It's just, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the play. It's all over social media and YouTube. I don't want to put the footage in here because I don't want the NFL to copyright me again. I don't need that. So, but yeah, it was terrible. And he got ejected for it as he rightfully should. But C.J. Stroud, 22 for 34, 242 yards, a touchdown. Mixon, 20 carries, 101 touchdown. Collins, 8 receptions, 119 yards. So, overall, good game. But the offensive line was decent today. I don't understand why this wasn't a blowout. I watched the game. I don't understand why it wasn't a blowout. Like, it just doesn't make sense how Houston is just in these games. I don't know what to make of Houston. Next year is going to be critical for Houston because CJ will be coming up on a contract, and is D'Amico really the answer at head coach? Like, this season is what it's going to be. They're either gonna win their division and roll into the playoffs, or they're gonna go on the road and lose in the first round. But so we know what we know right now about Houston. But I don't know. I'm just not confident in Houston. The fact y'all win only by 3 against the Jacksonville Jaguars team that's not very good. So, and then you lose against Tennessee last week. Like the loss last week and this win, neither one of those are quality. That's a terrible loss and I guess win. Now you'd be like, Keith, they play in the same division, so it's kind of like the Vegas Raider thing, right? And we're gonna get to the Thanksgiving games in a minute. Houston needs to beat these teams by 15 to feel confident because it's gonna take one loss and this whole season could be for naught. So hopefully Houston gets it together. So real quick, and I'll probably cut this out and make this on video. I don't know what type of magic Kansas City is using to win these games, but I don't know what to do with Kansas City. Now, we all know the refs are helping them. He leads the league in flags, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But I'll be crazy. You'll be crazy if you think the ref said, hey, rookie center for Vegas. I need for you to snap the ball and make sure that O'Connell fumbles it, and then I need for Kansas City to recover it, and then I need for one of you guys to move, then I'm going to call a legal shift, and then I'm going to call a legal shift, and then the game, come on, y'all. Like, come on, man. Come on, y'all. Like, that's not how that goes. The rookie just made a mistake, and they just keep getting lucky. It's not like Patrick Mahomes played well or anything. Patrick Mahomes didn't set the world on fire or anything. It's just, this is what they do. They just win games like this. I don't even got much to say. And so I would get into a tangent about Chicago and how they need to fire their staff, but he was already fired. Everybody knew after that debacle at the end of the game that he was going to be fired. So I shouldn't be surprised about that. Shouldn't be surprised about that at all. So, it's rumors they're looking for an offensive coach. But I don't even know what to make of that. I don't even know what to make of that. I didn't watch the full game. Obviously, I was doing Thanksgiving stuff, but I watched the end and I was like, yeah, that's the end for him. So whoever they end up getting, they need to prioritize the offensive side of the ball. I don't care if your defense is terrible. I don't care if your defense is ranked 30th. Your offense needs to look good. That's just Chicago needs a philosophy change. They need the philosophy of the culture to change from defense all the time to the offense, at least 60% of the time. So that's really all I got to say. And then as far as the other game, I think it was Chicago. Not Chicago. I think Miami played somebody at the last game. I wasn't really interested in, but I only say that one to say that Miami just was never going to play well in cold weather. I don't understand why people keep being surprised that Miami doesn't play well in cold weather. So that's the Thanksgiving games. So we're going to move on to the AFC or the NFC West. I'm sorry. So the Cards lost against the Vikings. Kyler Murray, 31 for 45, 260 yards, a touchdown. Two ugly interceptions. Both interceptions were ugly, and one of them cost him the game. The throw that Kyler had at the end of the game essentially cost him the game. Now, I don't know if he underthrew it on purpose or he not overthrew it. He threw it and the DB undercut him, or it was just a bad pass and he got tricked. But either one, it was ugly. And the one before that, I don't know what he was looking at. So then with like Anthony Richardson throws, you're like, oh my God, no. So, but the Vikings won. The Vikings have a real chance to take that division from Detroit. They got another game. Against Detroit. They'll be more healthier in that game. So that game is going to be good. I might actually cover that game because that's a really important game, right? So, but moving on to the Jets and their debacle. Geno Smith was 20 for 31, 206 yards, a touchdown. So the Jets go up 21, and they don't score again for the rest of the game. Only the Jets. The Jets and the Cowboys find new ways to disappoint their fan base every year. So the Jets got the win, or not the Jets got the win. Seattle got the win. And so with Seattle winning and with the Cardinals losing, they're fighting for that NFC West crown to host a playoff game. Now, I'm recording this while the 49ers are playing in that winter wonderland up in Buffalo, so I don't know what happened. And I did not look at the score of the Rams game. I think the Rams lost to the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. So, but either way, Seattle or Arizona are going to be atop of that division. I'm looking forward to seeing how that division shakes out. So, couple more things before I go. This is a long video, guys. I had a lot to say in this video. So we're gonna talk about college football a little. Like I said, I'm not a college football aficionado. I just watch the games, watch a little bit of the games, look at the calls, look at Joe Klatt talk about it, and like giving you my opinion because these guys are gonna be NFL players at some point. Cam Ward losing to Syracuse. It was bound to happen. They're in a dogfight. You know what? My NFL fans who don't watch college. It's like not Seattle. It's like the Vikings a few seasons ago. You remember when the Vikings were in all those one-score games and they won every one of them? Miami is kind of like that, but they've lost two of them. And when you lose two in your conference, where it's already not a really good conference, you're not going to make the playoffs. You're not going to make the playoffs. The same way with Buffalo, with Colorado. So Hunter and Shador. Travis Hunter should be the Heisman Trophy winner. If you watch football, if you play football or know anything about football, you know the two-way guys are always them guys. Travis Hunter is just living what we all wanted to do back when we were kids. Play two ways up into the NFL. And that's what he did. From Jackson State to Colorado. That's what he's done. And if he don't get the Heisman or Shador don't get the Heisman, I'm going to call racism. Say what you want to say about me. I'm going to call racism. I like what Alvin Gentry is doing, but he's at a lower level. He's not doing as much as Travis is doing. Like Shador is that guy. Shador is that guy. And any other season, Shador would be the Heisman Trophy. But Travis is an award winner in two. Well, he could be an award winner in two positions, and he should be. But the committee is not going to do that because the committee is weird, right? So I love what I'm seeing. I love what I'm seeing with them guys. It's been a pleasure watching Shador all 3 of these years, trying my best to keep up with him from senior year to Jackson State to now. It's been a pleasure watching you, and I look forward to covering Shador on this series more permanently when he becomes a Raider or a Cowboy. So it'd be one of the two, right? So all the fights in college football. I don't really have no analysis to say about that. All I'm gonna say is like, you gotta love college sports, right? You gotta love college sports. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So my radio listeners, if you want to hear more and you want to see the visuals, you want to see anything like that, Black Quarterbacks, YouTube.com/Black Quarterback Series, Instagram.com/Black Quarterback Series or Black Quarterback Podcast. I'm not sure which one it is. It's one of those two. Black Quarterback Series logo will pop up. And to stay tuned with me, you can do what you got to do. Use the socials. Interact with my stuff. YouTube. I'll leave the stuff at the end of the description, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.